Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Spirit of Justice. Previously, the trial commenced, and it was some pretty rapid-fire back and forth between Phoenix and Miles. We were able to posit that the autopsy report's time of death for the body may actually have been inaccurate because the body was lying around in dry ice fog for a few hours. So, to that end, we brought on Larry for some testimony, and very, very slowly and painfully we got a bit of information out of him because he snuck aboard the dirigible that fateful day and may have in fact moved the lantern. And he's testifying now to that effect, so let's get going, shall we? It's just like Nick said, I'm the one who moved the lantern. Huh. I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and saw a lantern was broken. There was a note on it that said, "Exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen." Huh. Okay. So I decided to do Ellie a favor. So you switched the lanterns before the reception, did you? Then that means the victim really was killed before the reception. Okay. This is not good. It would appear that Mr. Butts completely fell for the defendant's scheme. Scheme? What scheme? This note from the defendant. Exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body in it up to the reception hall because of this note. And thus he has become a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder. Uh-huh. Well, maybe we could spin it, hey, that note is clearly torn in half. Maybe Ellen is just the beginning of a sentence that continues on the second page? Oh, I don't think so. You know, that second lantern did feel pretty heavy. But I never would have thought there was a dead body in it. What was a note like that doing on a lantern in the first place? You've got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left that note for myself. It was simply a reminder because I can be very forgetful.
Objection!
What a sorry excuse, Miss Wyatt. The prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murderous plan. And you, Mr. Butts, you played right into Miss Wyatt's hands. No way, Edgy! I don't believe it!
Objection!
Do you still really believe Miss Wyatt to be the culprit, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course. My stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination. Gladly. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Let's do just that. Harry. It's just like Nick said. I'm the one who moved the lantern.
Hold it!
Why didn't you tell us that sooner? Because I knew you guys were going to be suspicious of me, that's why. We're suspicious of you now because you tried to hide it. My thoughts exactly. Well, now, I've told you. Happy? So how about letting me go? No, not yet. We need you to stick around to sort a few things out. Oh, fine! I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and saw a lantern was broken.
Hold it!
The lantern you swapped out was a female pegamoo, a pega cow, right? Yeah, I guess. Why did you replace a female lantern with a male one? Because I was too busy trying not to get caught. I didn't have time to check for little details like that. If you didn't want to get caught, you could have just left well enough alone, you know? Whatever. Anyway, when I took a look at the broken lantern, I saw... there was a note on it that said, "Exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen."
Hold it!
That note wasn't addressed to you, was it? Well, I guess not, but how could I let my dear sweet Ellie do all that hard physical labor on her own? It's precisely that thought process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry. Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared about her. So I decided to do Ellie a favor.
Hold it!
Nobody saw you the whole time while you were switching the lanterns? Nope, I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway. Not that time. Yeah, when I tried to sneak into the reception hall the first time, I didn't have as much luck. Those Sprocket guys spotted me and nabbed me. All of my words are failing me right now. Pretty exciting, don't you think? Larry, you need help. And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like this for anyway? Shouldn't you be trying to prove Ellie's innocence? Well, is that statement of his important to... Is that statement of his important to the case? Yeah? Mr. Butt's trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe these might be important facts in this case, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Butts, please add that statement to your testimony. I tried to sneak into the reception hall, but I got caught and locked up in a cabin.
Hold it!
So you got locked up. Then what happened? I broke out. Then I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it. Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Miss Wyatt? But hold on a minute. What is it, Nick? Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry is saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. That's right. Oh, wait, huh? You're right. It doesn't make much sense, does it? Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in the witness's statement? Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of blinking. Keep in mind that I only play 1 hour a day, and so... fine details are liable to get lost. Okay, so Larry wheeled it from the hole to the reception hall before the reception began. Yeah, I have no idea what that pterodactyl could be. Right. No, that's not a clock in the back, I think. That's just a dial. Okay. Let's take this one by one. Okay. Do I think the pendant is relevant to this? No. Not at all. Helen's statement. She saw a suspicious third party on the Vista deck when she was being attacked by Gloomberry. I don't think this is relevant to this moment. The chapel pamphlet. So we broke out of the cabin. So we'd have to go into the hold. And to get into the hold, he would need to use a key card. So he probably used Wyatt's key card to do it. And that does tie into the hold entry record. One of these is Larry, I think. It's just under a different name because that's what the machine recognizes the key cards as. Okay. I don't think the murder weapon is relevant to this. Okay, the lantern in which the victim's body was found, Larry wheeled it from the hold to the reception hall before the reception began. Before the reception began. I'm hung up on the time here. He moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. I don't think there's anything about when he was put into the cabin. The victim's body was found collapsed inside one of the Pegaball lanterns. Yeah, he collapsed through it. Uh-huh. I think that's relevant. No. So this is the photo of the hold. Now, was Larry saying that when he went to make the move with the lantern, this was the first time that he saw the hold? This would tie into when Butts was put in the cabin in the first place. Okay. Yeah, I genuinely do not know, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna look this up. I feel like if I had played this concurrently and not taken a few days break, I would be able to nail this, but alas, here we are. Okay, so on this one, I show the broken lantern. He moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. I don't quite get it.
Take that!
Is that? Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all. What? Why not? You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right? Yeah, that's what I said, isn't it? But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns after you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak into the reception. In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after the reception took place. Am I? Is he? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. I get it now. Okay. That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it? Mr. Butts, did you swap the lanterns before or after the reception? Which was it, before or after? There's a world of difference between the two. Well, Mr. Butts, I guess I can't expect guys like you to understand. In a nutshell, it was both before and after the reception. What? I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. First reception. Oh, here we go. The first reception? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. Then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound and we went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. So it was both before the reception and after the reception. Got it? We went back in time to before the reception. So of course the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why what I said makes perfect sense. Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since I saw him last? He's so polite. Well, none of the sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other made that miracle happen. But, Larry, I don't think the miracle ever happened. Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand? So now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing. Go on, Nick. I know you can do it. Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick. To heck with it. I can't lose any more of my dignity today anyway. Oh. The defendant, Miss Ellen Wyatt, has told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claims that, as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to that blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began. It what? I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen Wyatt and Larry Butts experienced time travel. What?
Objection!
What absolute rubbish. Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years, but this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind?
Objection!
But this is simply the conclusion I came to using that logic ability you love so much. What? The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So, what if a time machine has already been successfully created? And what if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions? A time machine? Yeah, I even saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. Maybe the airship was set to travel through time for their honeymoon trip. What? A pterodactyl?
Objection!
You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story. Well, As I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry. Not so fast now, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know. Oh? You want evidence? I've got your evidence right here. This is a photo I secretly took of the first reception. What? What? Larry, I can't believe you... Well, anyway, good job. If we compare the photos of the first and second receptions and can find a difference, then we'll be able to prove that the reception was held twice. I think I already saw it in that little photo. But do you really think such a difference exists? Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you. This is preposterous. Very well. Please show the court what's different then. Yeah, okay. This is proof positive that the wedding reception was held twice. Here comes the bride. Conspicuously, this photo does not show Pierce, who should be standing behind this person here. So looking at the first... Yep, I see it. It's the flowers. The second has yellow flowers. This one, however, red.
Take that!
Please direct your attention to Miss Wyatt's bouquet of flowers. In the photo one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butts took, she is holding a red bouquet. You're right. That's impossible. What does this mean? It means that the defendant really did experience 2 wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time. What? Nick, you did it. You proved Ellen's time travel story to be true. Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said. The reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we've based this trial on upside down.
Objection!
I refuse to accept such a ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There is simply no such thing as time travel. I know it's hard, but can't you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth? I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? I can totally picture you yelling, "That'd never happen," every 5 seconds at the screen. I like that she's to the left now, so she's leaning on nothing. Maybe you should stay away from the movie dates altogether. That's neither here nor there. This is real life we're talking about. But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter... Fine, I'll entertain your absurd delusion. If only to demolish it before your very eyes. What? Let's start with this, then, shall we? There is one thing your time travel theory fails to explain. And that is the memories of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice, but no member of the Sprocket family has even mentioned such a thing. That's because the time machine is... I'm not done, you bird brain. Bird brain? As I was saying, if the entire family had been sworn to secrecy, then why hadn't they sworn the woman who was marrying into the family to secrecy too? That's a good point. Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright. Even still, how do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There is no proof in the photos that it did. And besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well, I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was hoping to go back to the days of my youth. You mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is just not logically feasible. Maybe our argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick? Well, in that case, why don't we put common sense to the test? Excuse me? The wedding reception was held twice. The photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation? Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright? If time travel doesn't exist, then there's only one way to make sense of what happened. Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomenon, and that somebody is... the gods? Yeah, it's everyone. What if all of the guests at the reception conspired together to hold the reception twice and keep quiet about it? What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing? Well, Damon Gant? Haha, a brilliant deduction defense. Oh, hi. I can tell that you are not a renowned lawyer for nothing. I must say I underestimated you. How so, Mr. Nickady? You have managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You have revealed it all to the light of day. Then that means... It was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, the reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time. What? Why? Why would you do such a thing? To make it as though the murder Miss Ellen committed never happened. Master Soren figured that if Miss Ellen, who'd killed Gloomsbury after their first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime. Are you saying most of the guests attended 2 receptions without knowing why? Indeed, they needed no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and do it they did. That is the Sprocket way. Then, who hid the body in the lantern? We did. But we did not anticipate the petals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Butts. And that's how you intended to cover their whole situation up. There is just one thing everyone here has wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold, it was the Vista deck. What? Then Miss Wyatt's recollection of the events must be correct. I admit we tried to cover this incident up, but the fact that Miss Ellen killed Gloomsbury is undeniable. This is quite a turn of events. Edgeworth? And so it appears we have arrived at the truth at last. Now. Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright, and attempt to do this trial over again. Go on. Let's not get hasty, Edgeworth. I bet you can't do it. I bet I can't either! Your Honor, we will have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later. But as far as this case goes, I believe we are ready for your ruling.
Objection!
Just before the defendant lost consciousness during her attack, she says she saw someone strike the victim. It's possible that this third party is the true culprit.
Objection!
You still want us to believe the defendant's words. Perhaps you've lost more than your touch during your time abroad. This third-person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it.
Objection!
But by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and lied to fool this court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something. You never know when to quit, do you? Now, calm down, both of you. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. I suggest we continue the trial after both sides have investigated the matter further. Oh? Very well, Your Honor. Oh, that was close. Mr. Nickety, as for you and your cohort's attempt to cover up this crime, your case will be brought to a separate trial following the resolution of the current one. Understood, Your Honor. Well then, this concludes today's trial. Court is adjourned. Wow. Okay. So either the second half of this is going to be quite long, or we're actually looking at something quite shorter than the aquarium case from Dual Destinies. Huh. I didn't expect to end this so soon. Huh. Well, alright. What? So the whole time traveling thing was just a ruse put on by the guests at the reception? Looks like it. I knew there had to be some kind of trick to it. Wow, 2 wedding receptions. Can you imagine? I wonder how much that must have cost them. I have no idea. But if you have to ask, you're not rich enough to want to know. Still, if you've got the money, it's a pretty good way to cover things up if you ask me. You got that right. I'm sure I would have been completely fooled. Hi, I'm back. Hey, Maya. Are you all set to go? Yep, ready when you are. So, what should we start with? Let's start with reviewing what we learned at the trial. What Ellen thought was time travel was really just a performance put on by the Sprockets. But other than that, it seems that what Ellen told us was actually all true. So what really matters right now is the identity of the mystery person Ellen said she saw while she was being attacked. So who is this mystery person? That's the million-dollar question, I'm afraid. But if we want to clear Ellen of any suspicion, then figuring out who they are is key. I think I'll take Toilets for 200 instead, Mr. Wright. I love Jeopardy. I grew up watching that thing, man. Well, at least there were only so many people on that airship that night. And we know who the mastermind of the whole cover-up plot was, too, so that's good. You mean the groom, Soren Sprocket, right? Exactly. He might know something that could help us out. So then what am I doing here, Larry? Yeah. I'm a very busy man, you know. Well, all of the other people involved are Soren's family members, so I thought I'd better start by interviewing you. Even if I probably shouldn't trust a word out of your mouth. Oh man, have a really tight schedule, but heck, what are friends for, right? Okay, pal, go ahead, ask me anything. You do remember it was you who came to me for help in the first place, right? Okay. Nothing new in the agency. Charlie? No, Okay. I want to go over exactly what happened when before I step outside this office again. Since you were there, Larry, do you think you could help me get it all straight in my head? If I gotta... Okay, so the first reception was held at 7 p.m. on the day of the incident. That's the one you tried to crash, right? Huh? Oh yeah, that's right. And when they locked me up in the cabin, it was awful, I tell you. Too bad we're not here to focus on you, Larry. And then the incident occurred after this first reception at around 10 p.m. Ellen was attacked in the reception hall by Gloomsbury. He forced her out onto the Vista deck and was just about to kill her. But Ellie fought back and ended up killing old Gloomsbury instead. To cover it up, the family quickly threw together a second reception. That's what Edgy is claiming anyway. But I know my Ellie didn't do it. The key point here is the mystery person Ellen said she saw strike Gloomsbury just before she passed out. Did you see anybody suspicious skulking around that day? Nope, not a soul. Because I was locked up in a cabin at the time. But you managed to escape and sneak back into the reception hall. That's when you switched the lantern... Oh, that's when you switched the lantern in the event hall with the lantern in the hold, right? Did you see anybody then? Nope, the place was completely deserted. I guess because that Pierce Butler guy had everybody gathered together somewhere. That makes sense. He must have been going over the cover-up plan with them. So clearly the murder had already happened by the time Larry got out. They must have gotten everything ready fast and had the second reception soon after that. Then, after that second reception, Ellie went to clean up the reception hall. And as luck would have it, that's when she found the body and the lantern I'd brought up. I tried to do something nice for Ellie out of the goodness of my heart, and this happened. Huh. We still don't know exactly what happened during the actual murder itself. We'll just have to look into it along with the identity of that mystery person. So while the murder was taking place, you were locked up in a cabin. Did you see anything unusual while you were in there? In the cabin? Let's see. Well, there was that pterodactyl flying through the sky. That's pretty unusual. Oh, right. That drawing of that pterodactyl you saw. What's with all the air quotes? I really did see it, I swear. But, Larry, the time travel thing never actually happened. Which means you couldn't have seen a real pterodactyl flying through the sky. Oh. Are you doubting the eye of a super popular picture book author? No, I'm just sure you saw something else and mistook that for a flying reptile. Nick, you're making me doubt my own eyes. I'm not even sure what I saw. Either way, you have no idea what actually happened at the real scene of the murder. That's right, and I can say that with every confidence. Oh, wow, would you look at the time? I'd better go. I have a book signing to get to. A book signing? Whose book? Whose do you think? It's mine, of course. It's a Laurice Dunim book signing. I bet you went around and begged a bunch of bookstores to let you do one. Of course not. They're the ones coming around to beg me. Looks like I guessed it right. Anyway, I have to go. I'll send you 10 copies of my new book that just got released the other day, all right? 10? That's very generous of you. What are you talking about? I'm gonna send you the bill too, of course. Just put them down as office expenses or something. Well, see ya. Bye, Larry. Wait, Larry, we don't need... he's gone. I'll take a copy, boss. Oh, and make sure it's signed. Oh, boy. Trucy's not gonna like this office expense. There goes our first lead. What do you want to tackle next, Nick? Right, we should really hit the streets now, huh? How about we go see Ellen? Sounds good, boss. I bet I can cheer her up. I thought you were going to help Trucy with her magic show again today, Athena. Were she supposed to go meet her right about now? Trucy said she was going to practice her new trick on you, if I recall. On me? Really? Trucy's show is an important source of income for our agency, you know. You can leave the case to us, so you go ahead and run along now. But boss... Off you go, Athena. No, I don't want to die. We'd better get going too, Maya. Okay. Poor Athena. Why the long face, Maya? I can't believe time travel isn't real after all. I see. I thought I'd get to go back in time and see real dinosaurs and ninjas and stuff. Yeah, too bad, huh? I couldn't be more relieved, personally. So, what should we do? Oh, I don't know. I mean, shouldn't we just keep investigating stuff or something? She's really lost that spark. Ever since I proved that time traveling wasn't real in court today. Oh, what the hell is this game? Oh, my poor sweet Soren. I wonder how he's getting along without me. Hello, Ellen. Oh, Mr. Wright, what's going to happen with the trial, do you think? Well, first and foremost, we have to hurry up and find this mystery person you saw just before you passed out. Do you think that person could be the real killer? It's quite possible. And if we can prove that, we can clear you of all charges. Actually, would you happen to know where Soren is right now? He's usually busy with meetings all afternoon, but he should be home by evening. Underwear. Why does she have that? I think I'd better go have a chat with him later then. Why am I being treated to a view of someone's underwear? And, Windows key, print screen, okay. Mr. Wright, don't tell me. You suspect my sweet Soren. Well, he is the one who masterminded the second reception after the time skip. So I thought he might be able to tell us something. How could you, Mr. Wright? You can't possibly think my Soren would never kill anyone. All right, just calm down. No, not if you're accusing my Soren. Please, I'm not accusing anybody, so please put the pan and ladle down, all right? Really? Cross my heart. So, for now, would you mind if I ask you a few more things about the case? I'd better be careful not to provoke her. Huh. Okay. Anything new? No. Could you tell me about Soren? There's nothing to tell. He's squeaky clean. Alright, okay. Maybe I should avoid the topic of Soren right now. Let's talk about something else then. Fine, but you won't hear a peep out of me about Soren. Talk about pulling teeth. Could you tell me about Pierce Nickety then? Pierce. He came to Sprocket Manor about a year ago. When did she die? When did Selena die? As the family butler, he's now in charge of everything in the household. Only a year ago. Did he have some kind of special connection with the family? I'm just a maid, so I'm not privy to such things, I'm afraid. It might have been Soren's order, but Pierce is the one who coordinated the whole thing. He's the one who really orchestrated the grand time travel farce. He must have quite a bit of authority in that family. But no matter how good he is at his job, how could anybody gain that much influence in a single year? I really don't know. I mean, he is an excellent butler. Wouldn't that explain it? Huh. Is it really as simple as that? What you thought was time travel was really just a cover-up carried out by your in-laws. Pierce said Soren was the one who ordered the whole thing. I still can't believe it, even if the second reception was fake. Soren would never use time travels for something like that. He is very serious about his time machine research, you know? I heard there's a reason he's researching time machines, actually. Something about something he wishes he could change. But isn't the whole idea of traveling back in time itself a little fantastic? I don't think so. After all, Soren said real time travelers do exist. Really now? You think he knows someone who actually traveled through time? That's right. I haven't seen it personally, but Soren said as much. So I believe it. Somebody who actually traveled through time, huh? It's pretty hard to believe. Thank you, Ellen. You're going out to do your investigation now, aren't you? Yes, that's right. Please make sure you don't cause Soren any trouble, okay? I'm afraid I can't promise you that. What? Please, whatever you do, please don't upset my poor Soren any further. I'm begging you. I'll do my best not to cause him any unnecessary trouble. Oh, I couldn't bear it if Soren ever came under suspicion. I'd rather be found guilty myself. Wah! Yikes. Ellen, please don't work yourself up like this. You don't want Soren to worry, do you? No, you're right. And the floodwaters recede once more. So, what do we do now, Nick? Well, Ellen said Soren is usually in meetings until the evenings, so let's save our house call until then. Why don't we go to the mooring dock and figure out our next move from there? Roger, Nick. Cool. Let's present some stuff, though. Any thoughts on the pterodactyl? No. How about Selena? Well, we saw this already. Okay. I guess there's nothing new. I do like that this case has more, unique dialogues for showing off evidence. Kind of became a lost art as Ace Attorney went on. I remember back in the first trilogy, maybe just the first game, that you could show profiles to people and get their thoughts on other people. That was cool, though it's understandable why it was dropped. It's a lot of writing for inconsequential stuff. Move. So, where should we start?
Let's see. Are there any places we haven't examined yet? We already investigated the reception hall and Sprocket Manor.
I know, we haven't looked at the Vista deck or the hold yet. Thank you!
Hey, you're right. We've still got some pretty important places left to examine, don't we? The Vista deck is the actual scene of the murder, right?
And the lantern with the body in it was stored in the hold. I think there's a good chance we'll find some important clues in those locations.
Do we know how to get to the hold?
Good question. I think it was labeled in that diagram of the airship in this pamphlet.
There it is.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Anything new? No? Anything new to see? I feel like whatever that pterodactyl was must have fallen off the side of the Vista deck, and Larry saw it through a cabin window right here. It must be something that broke this map, but what? I don't know. Well, nothing jumps out at me as being immediately suspicious. Oh, wait! 2 Pega cows. Wasn't the Shotofo... The Shotofo... The photo show... the Pega bull. And a Pega cow. Okay. Interesting. So this is the hold. This is where Pierce orchestrated the whole cover-up operation. We better go over this place with a fine-tooth comb.
Hey, Nick? Weren't we supposed to need a key card to get in here?
Uh-huh, you're right. I wonder why it was unlocked. How's it going, Mr. Wright? Oh, Emma! Emma, what are you doing here?
Just a little independent investigating, for my own sake. Gotta keep the mind sharp.
Ah, so the door's security system was turned off for the police investigation. We'd like to investigate the hold ourselves. Would that be all right?
Yeah, sure. The police just finished their examination anyway.
Thanks. We'll just take a quick look around then.
Oh, right. You should know that the floor doubles as a huge lift. You can use that lever way back there to raise it up to the Vista deck. The police inspected it already, but didn't find anything of a particular interest, it seems. If you do go up to the Vista deck with the lift, be careful not to fall off.
Got it. Thanks.
That goes double for you, Maya. Yes, ma'am.
Well, let's get this show on the road. Cool. So, if the security system can be disabled and let anyone walk in, well, this throws this hold entry record into complete question. The 33rd or 37th person to enter the hold could have been anybody. Great. Wonderful. Fantastic. Goodness, I just wonder what the quote-unquote pterodactyl could have been. Because the whole floor is an elevator, pretty much anything on the airship could have been wheeled onto it and then subsequently thrown off the side of the Vista deck, and Larry would have seen it and thought it was a pterodactyl, but the silhouette. It's such sharp, angular angles. And that little squiggly Pikachu tail at the back? What is that? And there is some sort of glowing eye. You would think it would be one of the bulbs and one of the lanterns, but I think all 4 Pega-Cow lanterns are accounted for on the ship. And if one fell over the side, it would be quite a lot more damage than it appeared, so... I don't know. I have no idea. Hopefully we can find that out next time. Oh god. One of these days, pretty soon, there's not gonna be a next time. Waha! Ace Attorney! Don't go! Don't leave me! Yeah, I'm gonna be sad. So sad to end Ace Attorney, but I am really excited for some Let's Play projects that I have coming up. I already have a few on the docket that I know for sure I'm gonna play next. And I have some bright ideas for even after that. And of course, once we're done with this case, we'll wrap out all of Ace Attorney with a big ol' celebratory video where I rank every Ace Attorney character in a tier list, so I'm looking forward to that. Hope you are too. Man. I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been more Spirit of Justice. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.